That's right. Young and free. I always tell babies adulthood is overrated. I try to tell them while they're young now. It's like concert. We laugh. Okay. Do you want to call him? Or, let's see one up here. Wow, should have said that. I guess we'll just call him up and then do we have to do you want to do the wine and all that or just okay? All right, this is just for the people up here. I Mario. Just for the people up here. We'll pull the horn in. Herb, present thyself in thy registry. Herb, Bun Yahweh, Bun, Bun, Yahweh, Bun, Yashala. Herb, Bun Yahweh, Bun Yashala.
Shabbat. Shabbat.
No, you don't say that. You just don't. I do it now.
Hands gotta be behind the back when you do it. Hands to your side, yeah.
Now when you step to your right, then you put your fist up.
There you go.
There you go.
Right.
Right, put your hand on your chest. And you salute
Yahweh.
By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Barakathon.
Barakathon.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Barakatah. Slide. You want to do the okay. Face, extend your right hand out. Okay, turn this way. Extend your right hand out all the way out, and then this hand salute, and say La, Yashar, Allah. Go ahead and drink. All right, face, man. Yeshabium. All right, we're gonna go where we left off. We're in Genesis 31. Genesis 31. Okay, and we're in verses. We're gonna read verses 8 through 14. Okay. So we left off with Jacob and pretty much Jacob is getting ready to leave. Now, let's do some review. You know, we got to do some review every week. Okay, Jacob, who are Jacob's two wives that he is married? Go ahead, Colin. Rachel and Leah. Okay, who did he want to marry? He wanted to marry Rachel. Let's scoot over just a tad bit. Okay. He wanted to marry Rachel. However, he was deceived by Laban, and he ended up marrying Leah, and then he also married Rachel. Now, we know according to the law, you cannot marry two sisters, but he had slept with one, so that pretty much became his wife, and then he slept with the other. Okay? Now, let's see who remembers. Okay? Who had children first, Rachel or Leah? Okay? Go ahead. Yeah, you can raise your hand. Go ahead. Leah had children first. Does anybody know the first 4 children she had? You know, I like to give people pop quizzes every week. I'll give you a sticker like a teacher. Anybody know the order of the names in order?
Damn.
Anybody remember? Okay, her firstborn was Reuben. Then her next one was it Simeon? Then it was Levi. And then the fourth was? I thought somebody said it. Judah. There we go. Excellent. All right. And then Rachel couldn't have, so I think she gave, what did she give? Bilhah. Okay. And then I think they had, let me make sure I'm right. I think it was Dan and Naphtali. People online, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And then Zilpah was Leah's handmaid, and then she had Beli, Gad, and Asher. And then Leah bore again, and then she had Issachar and Zebulun. Okay? All right? And then, well, am I missing some? I feel like I'm missing some. No, I think I got it. 4, and that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's 10. And then Rachel finally bore, and what was Rachel's firstborn's name? I remember? Okay, Joseph. All right? Okay. All right, so Jacob was pretty much working for Laban, I think almost about 20 years, 21 years, somewhere around there. Okay, and now he's getting ready to leave. I mean, his flocks are flourishing. All right, so let's go ahead and start. All right, Genesis chapter 31, verse 8. And the Hebrew, 8 through 14. Want to take it? Slide it. Yeah, come. All right, I'll take this one. Genesis chapter 31, verse 8. In the Hebrew. Ka, Ya Amar, Nakwadyam, Yahaya, Shakarka, Waya Ladwa, Call, Hataza'an, Nakwadyam, Wa Ka, Ya Amar, Ikwadyam, Yahaya, Shakarka, Waya Ladwa, Call, Hataza'an, Ikwadyam, verse 9. Waya Taza'al, Alahayim, Af, Makwana, Abayakam, Waya. I better go. Verse, I think it was on. Verse 9. Wayathan, Leah, verse 10. Wayahaya, Ba'aith, Yakam, Hataza'an, Wa'asha'a, Ayanya, Awara'ah, Bakolwam, Wahana, Ha'aitadyam, Ha'ayolyam, Al, so like it. Hataza'an, Iquadyam, Naquadyam, Wabaradyam, verse 11. Wayamar Alya, Ma'alak, Ha'alahayam, Bakolyam, Ya'aiquab, Wa'amar, Hananya, verse 12. Wayamar Sha'a Na'ab, Ayanyaka, Wara'aha, Call, Ha'aitadyam, Ha'alyam, Al, Hataza'an, Iquadyam, Naquadyam, Wabaradyam, Kaya, Wa'ayafya, Av, Call, Ashar, Laban, Aisha, Lot, verse 13. Anakyam, Ha'alah, Bayaf, Al, Ashar, Mashakaf, Sham, Matazabah, Ashar, Nadarath, so like, yeah, Nadarath, Laya, Sham, Nadar, Aitha, Kwam, Ataza, Man, Aratiza, Haza'af, Washawab, Al, Aratiza, Mawala, Dafka, so like verse 14, with Ain, Rakal, Wala Aha, with Amarana, Ya, Ha'aiwad, Lanawa, Kalak, Wana Kala, Babayath, Abayanawa. And that's it. All right, let's go ahead and read Genesis 31, verses 8 through 14. We're going to read it in the English.
If he said thus,
Read the chapter.
oh, Genesis chapter 31, verse 8. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Genesis
You can
30.
say verse 9.
Oh, okay, verse 9. All right. Verse 9. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled, and gristled. Verse 11. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. Verse 12. And he said, Lift up now thy eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. Verse 13. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. Verse 14. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house?
Excellent. Okay, so remember when Jacob was on his way to Laban's, remember he set up a pillar and made a covenant. He made a vow pretty much, and saying that if the Most High would preserve him, keep him, and return him back to this place, that then he should be, then the Most High would be his God, and now the Most High is returning him back to his place. So he is returning, and so the Most High preserved him all those years under Laban, and even blessed him. Okay, and which shows that the Most High will keep his promises, just like he's going to keep his promise as far as Abraham's covenant. We will get that land once more. We will have that land. All right, and that's why, honestly, Commander General Hanna talks about World War III. We need to rejoice, because World War III is our freedom, because that could be probably the gateway for us getting our land that the Most High promised to our forefather Abraham. All right, let's go ahead and continue reading. We're in Genesis chapter 31, and we're reading 15 through 21. We're reading that in the Hebrew. You want to read that?
I got it.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 15. Halawa'ah, Nakarayawa, Nakashabanwa, Lawa, Kaya, Makaranwa, Wayako, Gum, Akawo, Kasapanwa, verse 16. Kaya, Ko, Ha'aishar, Ashar, Hatazayo, Alahayim, Ma'abayanwa, Ma'abanawa, Ma'abayanawa, Lanawa, Hawa'a, Walabanyanawa, Wa'aitha, Ko, Ashar, Amar, Alahayim, Aliyaka, Aisha, 317, Wayaquam, Ya'aiqua, Wayasha'a, Wayasha, Banyawa, Wa'a, Nashayan, Nashayawa, Al, Hagamolium, verse 18. Waya Nahag, Kal, Makwananhawa, Makwananhawa, Wa'a, Kal, Rakashwa, Ashar, Rakash, Makwana, Kwanayanawa, Ashar, Rakash, Bapadan, Aram, Abawa'a, all, it has a quack, Abiyawa, Aratazah, Kana'ain, verse 19. Walabun, Halak, Lagazaz, Taza Anya, Taza Anwa,
Come, sir.
Taza Anwa, with the Ganab, Rakol, Hadarapium, Ashar, La Abiyah, verse 20. Wayaganab, Ya Aikwa, La, Laban, Ha'aramya, Al, Baliyah, Hagayad, Nawa, Kaya, Barak, Hawa'a, verse 21. Waya Barak, Hawa'a, Wakal, Ashar, Lawa, Waya Kwam, Waya Ibar, Hanahar, Waya Sham, Punyawa, Har, Hagala'aid. That's it.
Excellent. Good reading. Good reading. All right, let's go ahead and read Genesis 31, chapter 31, verses 15 through 21 in the English.
Are we not counted?
Always start with Genesis. Chapter.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 15. Are we not counted of him strangers? For ye have sold us, and have quite devoured also our money. Verse 16. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Verse 17. Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and his wives upon camels. Verse 18. And he carried away all his cattle, and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Pandaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. Verse 19. And Laban went to share his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. Verse 20. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he had fled. Verse 21. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gildan.
Excellent. No, it's crazy because Rachel took some of her father's idols with her. Okay, so she still fully did not understand the God of Jacob, of her forefathers, who made a covenant. She's taking the idols with her, which should be a lesson. You know, when you marry, especially a man of the UPK, you are not to bring your idols with you. Okay, right. You're not to bring your gods with you. Okay, because that could cause problems. Okay, because a lot of times, you know, unfortunately, well, now I won't say a man of the UPK, but unfortunately, a lot of times when the woman brings the gods with her, what does the man usually do? When a woman brings the gods with her, go ahead. Oh, is that saying? He's going to usually compromise. That goes all the way back to the garden. Okay? He's usually going to compromise. When she brings her gods and her family, her Christmas tree, her ham, and all of that, we know we've all dealt with Big Mama. The guy usually folds. Okay, he folds. With, you know, under what Big Mama said. Okay, well, whatever she says goes. And why do you think he's going to fold? Why do you think a man is gonna fold? I know Officer Mutazaba knows. There we go. To keep the peace. They don't want to fight with Big Mama. Come on, just be quiet. Just let her gods come in. It's not gonna hurt anybody. A couple of presents.
Right.
Okay, but that's gonna actually cause some problems. All right.
It's like, if I could too, and this is why, when you hear people talk about the UPK, they say we so rigid, we so, we this, that, and the third. Is because here's the thing, we're not walking away from no fights. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to back down from the fact that you want to celebrate Christmas. We're not going to fold, and we're not going to compromise with you celebrating Thanksgiving. You're not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? And that's just going to be what it is. So when it comes out like, oh, y'all don't let this, that, and the third, listen, we're going to serve our God. You see what I'm saying? And that's being humble, and that's being, having humility. You see what I'm saying? Us doing something against the Most High is actually arrogance. And that's when you're being prideful. When you want to celebrate your holidays because you've been doing it all your life. When you want to celebrate them holidays because this is what Big Mama taught you to do, and these are the traditions of my family, that's actually you being very prideful and stubborn to the Lord. But the thing is, especially when you come in here, we're not doing none of that. You see what I'm saying? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, all that nonsense. You see what I'm saying? Celebrating birthdays. We do not do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the rep is what it is, and it will remain that way.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask a question. If I may, Officer Batas, I'm going to ask a question.
Good talk.
Why does anybody understand why it's actually more tempting? I'm going to see if I can phrase this right, Officer Batas, about why it's more tempting for a woman that doesn't understand our culture to give in to the gods of the nations around. Does anybody understand why it's more tempting for her? Does anybody want to take a shot at it, stab at it? Am I supposed to say that? Or, I know you're supposed to say violent terms. Anybody know? Okay, let me tell you why. Because you got to think, and Commander General Hunter touched on this. You got to think the gods of other cultures actually worship the woman. They worship the woman, like the female goddesses. They always, and you got to think, when the nations really wanted to find out what the gods said, who did they used to go visit?
The female.
They went to go visit a woman, like the oracle. Yeah, they went in the temple, they visited the oracle, and then they slept with her. Wow. That's really so they so for men, that's on a carnal level, that's a win-win. You mean I get to go into this temple, sleep with the woman that's going to tell me the future, then I get to sleep with her?
Damn.
So that was always putting the woman on the goddess level.
Right.
So that's why it was easier. That's why it's easier for a woman that doesn't know the truth to give into the gods of the other nations around. Right. And what do? Men fall because they're when it comes to a woman, it's just right there in the garden. Right. So it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. Okay.
Hey, so like one more thing, if I could, just remember that story of Eve. You see what I'm saying? Like Satan went to Eve for a reason. Absolutely. He could have went to Adam too, but he went to Eve for a reason. You see what I'm saying? And he deceived her. That's why the term is naive, close to Eve, meaning like she was gullible. She was gullible to the deception that he brought to her. And what happens is, and what we got to realize is, if we give in, it's actually disrespectful for someone to come and teach you something else that your husband is not teaching you according to these scriptures. Because they looking at you as weak. They looking at you as someone that can be easy manipulated and deceived. So when they come at you, they coming at you not in the term of respect, even though they kind of say it that way. Hey sis, this, that, and the third, how they say grand rising, all that nonsense, you see what I'm saying? Like power rising, they use all them terms. That's all to beguile and deceive the woman. You see what I'm saying? Our women need to hear the truth. And sometimes the truth may sting, but it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? At the very least, you're going to be shown respect here because we're going to tell you the truth.
I like that.
All right, let's go ahead and continue. We're in Genesis chapter 31, and we're reading verses, 22 through 28?
22, yeah.
And in the Hebrew, you want to take this off sometime? I'll take it. Okay. Genesis chapter 31, verse 22 in the Hebrew. Wayagad, Laban, Wayawam, Hashala Yashya, Kaya, Barak, Ya'ikwa, verse 23. Wayakwak, Akyawa, Aimwa, Wayaradak, Akaryawa, Darak, Shaba'ith, Yum, Wayadarbak, Athwa, Bahar, Hagala Aib. Verse 24. Wayaba'a Alahayim al Laban Ha'aranya Bakalam Hala Laya Wayamar Lawa Hashamar Laka Pun Thadarak Thadabar Ain Yaikwa Matawab Aid Rai. Verse 25. Wayashag Laban Yaikwab Ya'aikwab. That's like it. Ya'aikwab. It's like it. Thakwai Aholam Bahar Laban Thakwai Akyawa Bahar Hagala'aid. Verse 26. Wayamar Laban Ya'aikwab Mam Aishayaf Waha Ganab La Babya, Labaya, sorry, with a Nag, with a Nahag, let me see, Benafya, Kashabyawaf, Karab, verse 27, Lama, Nakaba'af, Labarak, with a Ganab, Afya, Wala Hagadaf, Layab, Wa'a Shalaka, Basha Makam, Wabasharkam, Shariam, Bathak, Waba Kana War, verse 28. Wala'a Nata Shak, Nata Shatanya, Lana Shak, Labunya, Wala Banafya, Aitha, Hasa Kalaf, Aishawa, and that's it. All right, let's go ahead and read Genesis chapter 31, verses 22 through 28 in the English.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 22. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. Verse 23. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gildan. Verse 24. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. Verse 25. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gildan. Verse 26. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Verse 27. Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? Verse 28. And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters, that hast now done foolishly in so doing.
Okay, excellent. Now you see, Laban was very careful how he talked to Jacob because, Officer Kazak said this, I think it was the last week, it's the little things. And the Most High watches the little things, so you got to be real careful with the Most High, because it's the little things that could keep you alive. It'd be the small things. I always go, like I said the other day, I always go back to the Ark of the Covenant tipping. That was a small thing. You think that the Uzzah would have been spared, and he touched it, you weren't supposed to, and he died. So you got to think it'd be the little things that could save your life. All right? So you got to think about that. All right? All right, we're going to Genesis now, chapter 31. We're reading 29 through 35 in the Hebrew. Is there any questions, by the way? Any questions? Okay.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 29. Yash la'al yadya la'eshawah aimakum rai wa alahaya abiyakam amash amar aulia la'amar hashamar laka madabar ain ya aikwab matawab ai rai, verse 31. Wa aitha halak halakah kaya nakasa nakasa nakas nakas nakasatha nakasatha nakasapta labaya abyaka lama kanaba ab alahaya, verse 31. Wa ya ain ya aikwab wa yamar lalaban kaya Yaraathya, Kaya, Amarathya, Hun, the Gazal, Banawathyaka, Ma'anya, verse 32, Aim, Ashar, the Mataza'ah, Alahayaka, La'ah, Yahaya, Nagad, Akayanwa, Akinawa, the what? Bakar, Laka, Maha, Aimadia, Wakwak, Laka, Wala'a, Yadai, Yaikwab, Kaya, Rakal, Ganab, Ganabdam, verse 33. Wayaba'a, Laban, Ba'ahal, Yaikwab, Waba'ahal, La'a, Waba'ahal, Shakya, Ha'amaha, Wala'a, Mataza'a, Wayataza'a, Ma'ahal, La'a, Wayaba'a, Ba'ahal, Rakal, verse 34. Warakal, Lakwaka, Hadarapyam, with a Shamam, Bakar, Hagamal, with a Shab, Al-Yaham, with your Mashash, Laban, Kal, Ha'ahal, Wala'ah, Mataza'ah, verse 35, with the Amar, Al, Abiyah, Al, Yakar, Ba'ayanya, Adanya, Kaya, Lawa'ah, Awakal, Lakwawam, Mapanyaka, Kaya, Darak, Nashiyam, Naya, Waya Kapash, Wala'a, Mataza'a, Hadarapyam. That's it.
Thanks for reading. All right, go ahead. We're going to be reading Genesis chapter 31. We're reading verses 29. How many more we got? 29 through 35.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 29. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Notice they already said the God of your father. Okay, that's showing that it was the God of Abraham and his father Isaac. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy fathers, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Verse 31. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. Verse 32. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. Verse 33. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and enter into Rachel's tent. Verse 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. Verse 35. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched but found not the images.
Right. Well, you can see it all runs in the family. That Rachel was slick, her father was slick, Jacob was. It was all in the family. Okay, so you can see the type of personalities was in that family. All right, she hid those images. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and now we're reading Genesis chapter 31, 36 through 42. All right, we're going to read that in the Hebrew first. Genesis chapter 31, verse 36 in the Hebrew. Wayakar, layai quab, wayarab, balaban, wayain, yaikwa, wayamar, lalaban, ma, pashaya, ma, kataafya, kaya, delaquaf, akaria. Verse 37. Kaya, mashashaf, af, kal, kolya, ma, mataza af, makal, kolya, layafka, shayam, ka, nagad, akya, wa akyaka, wa kayakwa, bayan, shunyanawa. Verse 38. Za, Aisharyam, Shana, Anakya, Imak, Rakolyaka, Ra'izayaka, La'a, Shakola, Wa'ayolya, Taza Anka, La'a, Akalaf. Verse 39. Tarapa, La'a, Haba'afya, Olyaka, Anakya, Akatana, Mayadya, Tabakwa Shana, Gana Bafya, Yawam, Wagana Bafya, Layala. I can never say that word. I say it, it's always hard when the word night. Yeah, the word night, I always get tongue twisted. Verse 40. Hayayafya, Bayawam, Akalanya, Karab, Wakarak, Balayala, Watha Dad, Shanafya, Ma'ayanya, verse 41. Za, Laya, Aisharyam, Shana, Babayafka, Ibadafyaka, Arabai, Aishara, Shana, Vaishafya, Vanafyaka, Washasha, Shunyam, Bataza Anka, Watha Kalak, Af, Masha Karafya, Aisharaf, Munyam, verse 42. Lawa Laya, Alahaya, Abaya, Alahaya, Abraham, Wanapakad, Yatazahak, Haya, Laya, Kaya, Adam, Rayakwam, Shala Kaftanya, Ah, Ain, Adiyah, Wa'af, Yagayai, Kapaya, Ra'aha, Alahayam, Wayawakak, Amash, and that's it. All right, we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 31, 36 through 42 in the English.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 36. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Verse 37. Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. Verse 38. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten.
And ewes are just like a female lamb, if anybody was wondering. Like an ewe lamb is a female young lamb. Go ahead.
Interesting. Verse 39. That which was torn of beast, I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Verse 40. Thus I was, and the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Verse 41. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And that house changed my wages 10 times. Verse 42. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac, has been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday. Sorry.
Excellent. And you see a pattern here that any time that we are serving somebody, they're blessed. Okay, you see all the material. You see how Laban's flocks and everything flourished because Jacob was serving him. When we was in Egypt, Egypt flourished because of us. And that's why when the Most High attacked Egypt, he showed that their gods weren't causing them to serve, wasn't causing Egypt to flourish, because Egypt thought their gods was causing them to flourish. The Nile god and the sun god, and the Most High to show them that your gods aren't doing anything. It's because the children of Israel were there. That's why Egypt flourished. Okay? You see here in the United States. You know, United States flourished because we were brought here. We pretty much built it up. So any nation where we're brought into and put under an affliction, that nation's going to bless because they benefit off of our resources. Now, you got to think about this. In the kingdom, it will be reversed. Okay? General Hyman said, we'll be feeding these other nations, but we'll be living off of their resources, their talents. Okay? And they'll be building our nation up. Okay? We'll feed them and clothe them. The only difference is we're going to show them how real rulership should be. Okay? Because, you know, like General Hyman said, our oppressor wasn't kind to us. Okay? We'll show them what righteousness looks like under righteous rulership. I think they better choose that or the Lord will kill them. I mean, I don't think that's a hard choice to do. Okay? So we'll show them what righteous rulership looks like. All right? Okay. Is my turn to read or is it your turn? Is your turn?
Go.
Okay. We're reading Genesis chapter 31, 43 through 49 in the Hebrew.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 43. Waya'ain, Laban, Wayamar, all, Ya'aikwab, Abanawa, Benathia, Wahabanyam, Banya, Wahataza'an, Taza'anya, Wakol, Ashar, Atha, Ra'ah, the Ya, Hawa'ah, Wula Benathia, Maha, Aisha, La'ala, Hayawam, Awa, Labanyahan,
Okay.
Labanyahan, Ashar, Yaladwa, verse 44. Wa'aitha, Laka, Nakaratha, Baraya, Anya, Wa'atha, Wahaya, La'ai, Bayanya, Wabayanka, verse 45. Wayakwak, Ya'aikwab, Aban, Wayarayam, Wayar Yama, Matazabah, verse 46. Wayamar, Ya'aikwab, La'akwa, Laquatwa, Abanyam, waya Kwakwa, Abunyam, waya Aishawa, Gal, waya Kalwa, Sham, Al, Hagal, verse 47. Waya Kora'ah, Lawa, Laban, Yagar, Shahada, Shahada what the, Shahada what the, Shahad with the. How does that?
God, I was shahad with I was thinking that too. I'm not familiar with that word. God.
Shahad with the water. Waya Aikwab, Kora'ah, Lawa, Gala'ai, verse 48. Waya Mar, Laban, Hagal, Hazah, Ai, Bayanya, Wabayanka, Hayawam, Al, Khan, Kora'ah, Shemwa, Gala'ai, verse 49.
Is that it?
No.
Oh, 49 car.
Muhammad has a Pa, Ashar, Amar, Yatazak, Yahweh, Bayanya, Yabayanka, Kaya, Kasathar, Ayash, Mara'ai Hawa. And that's it.
Good reading. All right, we're reading Genesis 31, verses 43 through 49 in the English.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 43. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thee seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto thee my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Verse 44. Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. Verse 45. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. Verse 46. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made them heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. Verse 47. And Laban called it Jeskar Hudada.
Yeah, about right. There you go.
But Jacob called it Galid. Verse 48. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galid. Verse 49. And Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. That's it, right?
Excellent. Yep. All right, we're going to go ahead and finish it off. We're reading Genesis 31, 50 through 55, and then Genesis chapter 32, verse 1. All right, Genesis chapter 31, verse 50 in the Hebrew. Fa'ina, af, Banathya, wa'am, Fakwak, Nashiam, al, Banathya, Ayan, Ayash, Aimnawa, Ra'aha, Alahayim, I, Bayanya, Wabayanka, verse 31, Wayamar, Laban, Laya Aikwab, Hana, Hagal, Hazah, Wahana, Hamatazabah, Ashar. Talk about your names come up all through the scriptures. Yarayafya, Bayanya, Wabayanka, verse 32, 52. I, Hagal, Hazah, Wa'aida, Hamatazabah, Anya, La'a, Ibar, Alyaka, Hagal, Hazah, Wa'am, Atha, La'a, Fa'aibar, Alya, Af, Hagal, Hazah, Wa'af, Hamatazabah, Haza'af, Lara'aiha. Verse 53. Alahaya, Abaraham, Alahaya, Nakawar, Yeshapatwa, by Yunyanawa, Alahaya, Abayaham, Yeshabai, Yaikwab, Bapakad, Abayawa, Yatazahak. Verse 54. Wayazabak, Yaikwab, Zabak, Bahar, Wayakora, La'akyawa, La'akal, Lakam, Wayakawa, Lakam, Wayalyanawa, Bahar, verse 55, Wayashakam, Wayashkam, Laban, Babakwar, Wayanashak, Labanyawa, Wala bun waf yawab. Waya rock. After hum. Waya lad. Waya shab. Laban. Lama kwamwa. Genesis chapter 32, verse 1. Wayaikwa halak. Ladarakwa. Wayapa gaiwa. Wawa. Malakya. Hala alahayim. And that's it. All right, we're going to go ahead and read Genesis chapter 31, 50 through 55, and then Genesis chapter 32, verse 1 in the English.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 50. And thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. Verse 51. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. Verse 52. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. Verse 53. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Verse 54. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. Verse 55. In the early morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. Genesis chapter 32, verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him.
Excellent, great. Okay, so we see that Jacob is now being sent on his way back to the land where his father Isaac is. And on his way, the angels of the Most High met him. Any questions? All right, just the people up here. Oh, you had a question? Oh, okay. All right, Imani.
La
Yasha'Allah.
Yashahawa.
Drink. No sweat. This thing's covered while we salute. This is the end. That's the end that you said, right? This is just for the people up here. The men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Trying to face me. Yahweh Bashim Yashab Brakya.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Brakya. My Shabbat to the side. Follow me.
Shabbat.
Both hands.
Okay.
Make sure the fists touch in the back.
All right. You don't have to repeat it. Okay. You don't have to repeat the words. Almighty. And then Barak. And then hit the sword. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak.
Barak.
Yah.
Yah.
Good job.
God, uncover the scroll for prayer. It's on you, Ocean.
Mariam Wapanyal Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. This is for everybody. All right, one time on 3. To your right, though. All right. All right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, then in the English. Lord's Prayer, Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwathka. Taba'ah. Batazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawaknawa. Kasalaknawa. Wala. Tabi'aynawa. Manasayan 1. Abal. Abashayna. Mayan. Rad. Naya. Lakab. Amalakwa. Waha'alam. Bahazapara. Babalamim. Aman. In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. This concludes the service. Sisters, you're shopping.
Men of Israel, we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the teacher. Sorry, Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Imadiya, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah.
Yaji Matah, put your hand in. Sal, which means turn towards the sisters. Sisters, Imadiya. Men of Israel, we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Imadiya, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Alatam Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yaji Matah, class dismissed. Hey, yo, you did it for us. Go ahead and share it back for me right there. No, you too. All right.
Good class.